Hi everybody, this is the host, aka Host 1.
And the co-host, aka Host 2 here. Just a few quick words before we jump into the episode.
If you're a new listener, here's how the show works. We typically will spend about 5% of the episode at the beginning and the end talking about a motivational related topic, and then the other 95% of the episode is a ton of comedy in between.
We'd appreciate it if you could please like, subscribe, and share the show with other people. Feel free to leave us a comment wherever you're listening or send an email to facetodaypodcast@gmail.com.
Now, back to the episode. To all our listeners, wherever you are, any part of the world, any part of the country, any part of the galaxy, any part of the continent, any part of the atmosphere.
We are back.
Yes, we are back. Every episode we start with, we say we are back.
And we are glad to be here.
We are not front, we are back.
We are not front, we are back. This is co-host 2 with my very solid co-host 1, the driver of the show. Here he is.
Co-host 1 here, and I wish we had an intro music or some type of prelude into the episode that we could play for you, but we just don't have anything.
We don't, but we do have an idea, or several ideas for you that we think you're gonna like.
And we'd like to start off this episode by talking about the title of this episode. This is episode 8, I believe?
8.
This is episode 8. This is the 8th episode that we've recorded. This is co-host 2 over on my side, and I'm the host 1. Mm-hmm. And we're both technically co-hosts. You know, we just have a label 1 and 2, whatever that means, but we're both hosts here. And we'd like to bring to you episode 8. The episode name for today is called All It Takes Is One.
Is one. All it takes.
Now, who do you want to go first to explain what the concept and what it means?
Well, why don't you go first, co-host? But let me just say this: if this is your first time listening to the show, just know that every episode or most episodes, we try to impart some random knowledge and then some motivational knowledge, as you can see. And we're going to go ahead and explain what the idea for this episode is.
Yes, thank you for clarifying that, co-host too. We like to keep things funny. We like to keep things light and simple, but all in all, like this podcast is also a little motivational too. We want to keep you listening to motivate you. We want to drive you to push for better in life, and we're gonna keep that theme for now. So all it takes is one. I'll start off, if I may do.
Oh, please,
Mr. Co-host. All it takes is one, in my opinion. I haven't given this much thought for our listeners out there, but that's the beauty of this podcast, is that we just kind of like give it off our dome. And all it takes is one. The reason for titling it this is because you can be. It comes down to, like, you can have so much going on in your life, and you can have a lot of failure, and you can just constantly be kind of like down on yourself for stuff that's going on, and just going through a lot of battles. But it's not, luck isn't the word I'm going for here, but it's more like every day you wake up and you don't know what's going to happen, and as long as you commit to facing the day, you don't know what's going to happen that day, and all it takes is one. All it takes is one thing to happen. All it takes is one encounter with a new person. All it takes is you go out at night, you meet one new person. All it takes is, you send one email and one new person responds. And it's just, the beauty of that is that you really can change your entire life around on that one time.
Yes.
And I think that's as simple and as basic as I can describe it. That's what I'm going for.
Well said, and totally agree, co-host, because it's that one person or that one thing that happens that can turn everything around. If it's a win or even if it's a loss, sometimes that's all it takes for perspective to change and things to just change for the better.
Exactly. And it's crazy how quickly and fast this can happen. Your whole life can change in a matter of one moment. That's
why.
Moment. Just keep that in mind. We're not going to ramble on, because we're looking at the tracker here, co-host. We're almost at the 4-minute mark. We're not going to ramble on because we know you want to hear the funny stuff.
Let's get to it.
But we do want to make that clear that if you're listening to this and you need some motivation, both myself and the co-hosts have gone through this directly. Things have changed around our lives literally based off of one thing that's happened, and we weren't even expecting it or anticipating it. So
you really weren't. And
just
you
keep that in mind.
Keep that in mind. You get that one thing, you get that one win, you hold on to it. And
Your
you let
tomorrow could
keep
bring
going.
a whole new life for
Yes,
you.
sir. Yes, sir.
And we're gonna jump into this co-host. We have a lot of thoughts, a lot of comments, a lot of content that we can go through, obviously, because this is what we do at Face Today. But just to start off here, co-host,
Here we go.
we're gonna bring it back to LinkedIn.
Oh no,
I have to.
LinkedIn.
We've talked about so many times how we could have a completely separate LinkedIn podcast, but I need to start off by asking a LinkedIn question. What are your thoughts when someone is leaving a company and they go on a whole rant? Today is my last day at X company. I'd like to thank blah, 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 blah. It was the greatest experience of my entire life, and I couldn't be more appreciative of everyone. On that note, I'll be leaving to join X company. Shut the fuck up.
Yes.
Hit your people up privately or in person
Yes.
and just leave.
Just leave.
You don't need to shout it out to everyone.
Yes.
No one cares.
No public statement.
You don't need to make a big scene about it. What are your thoughts on that, co-host?
Yes, co-host. And these people, they write a big long thing, and at the end they say, well, I'm leaving for another company. It's just so much bravado. It's so much over the top. I don't get it. Why do they do it?
Actually, co-host, this brings me back to something that I think we were discussing maybe like a month ago or so. But this is in very following up on this exact question that I just asked you. It's the same thing where you have these people on LinkedIn that go on, they literally will leave like 10 paragraph posts about how much they love the company they're working for. They will label 20 different people in this post, all the projects they worked on, everything they've gained, just how happy they are in the workplace, how it has helped their career, and how excited they are for the future of the company. The last line of the 10 paragraph post, they'll say, and with that being said, I would like to say that I'm joining X company. They just
Yeah.
What?
What are they thinking? LinkedIn is the worst.
You love you're ranting and raving about the company you work for, and it's the best thing ever. And you're leaving. What? It doesn't. Just leave the company.
Just leave.
Just be low key. Just go on.
Nobody can be low key. That's the problem.
Is it?
They want to be. They want
the attention.
They need the attention.
Narcissism.
I think it is the narcissism. We've talked about the narcissism, and it's a real thing. But it's a bad type of. There's some type of narcissism can be endearing and cool, but this is the most cringy, lame type where nobody really cares, but you got to make a big deal out of nothing.
What if LinkedIn just removed the emojis?
Oh, that would be a huge step.
It was
Huge step
just
forward.
comments. Then you would have everyone commenting like you're the best. Like, oh, you're a rock star.
Yeah, and then people would say, oh, these are not. Yeah, the emojis make it that much worse.
Emojis are worse, but if you did have emojis, you would be forced to basically leave a comment. There'd be more comments around like you're getting a good one, or like sad to see you leave, or just like, oh, great, or just people would
It's too
just
easy.
write thumbs up instead of leaving a thumbs up.
Exactly. And we have, we talked to a friend of ours who may or may not ever be on this podcast, but he just clicks, and it's too easy just to click.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm going to agree with this person. I'm going to click here, click this, and then it's then it adds to their narcissism. So you hate to see it.
You hate to see it, and that leads into my next question, co-host.
Go ahead.
Why do suburban people like to attend town hall meetings so much?
Oh, the classic town hall. What do you think?
I asked you. You're my co-host.
Well, it's been a big thing. They think that they can, have some authority and assert their power on a local level, right?
I guess, does it give them some sense of purpose when they're so secluded out there, and they just need to need to get out there, and they need to voice their opinion?
Yes.
Is it bring joy to their lives?
But is that it? Is that because they just want to be heard by somebody in their little, rural local community, or do they think that they have no other way of making a difference? Again, how much of it is narcissism, and how much of it is do they really want to make a difference and help the community? I think it's a fair question.
It is a really fair question, and I think you live out in a far out suburb for too long. I've never done that on my own, so I don't really have good insight onto this, but I feel like your judgment begins to get a little bit clouded, shall we say.
Yes, we've talked about living out in the boonies.
Co-host, what happened to Got Milk?
Oh, the ad, Got Milk.
Got Milk. What happened to?
Yeah, it disappeared.
What happened to Got Milk?
What happened to Got Milk?
I was just thinking of Michael Jordan with one of those big mustaches on his face.
And I think a lot of these female celebrities that have the milk mustaches.
What are
on
your
their
thoughts
face.
on milk? Do you think it's healthy?
Milk? Regular milk, whole milk, skim milk.
Any type of milk?
Oh, well, that's the whole thing, was the type of milk.
I drink a lot of almond milk
Oh,
and a lot of oat milk.
Those are good. I think those are
Yeah,
healthy.
I like them. I usually feel good afterwards. Sometimes if I drink a lot of skim milk, I don't really feel that good. But
Interesting.
I haven't drank skim milk in probably 5 years, so
Yeah.
can't
Same
say
here.
I actually remember.
Me too. And you know, when I was
just made that up,
oh, is that right?
that I don't feel good.
Oh, you don't feel good.
But I haven't drank skim milk in a long time.
Well, you know, when I was young, I don't know about you were young.
When were you young?
Oh,
How long ago
many
was this?
moons ago, many years ago.
What do you consider young?
A young tot.
I'm a titan of youth.
He's a youth. But skim milk was when I
we
was
are
young.
titans of youth.
See, now I'm trying to put on muscle, so I drink, vitamin D whole milk. When I was young, I would drink skim milk. Skim milk when I was a young body. And you know what? I didn't pack on the muscle the same way.
Well, if anyone out there knows what happened to Got Milk, please let us know, because milk in general, I feel like has taken a fall.
A long fall from grace.
But it's everywhere. No matter what grocery store you go into, even gas stations, you can find milk.
You can find milk.
You'll always find milk. Everyone wants milk in some capacity.
Is milk
It's
healthy?
one of those things that's always there.
Is it good though? Is it really? Where is the Got Milk? Like,
Really, it may be one of the most. It really might be one of the best questions of all time. Is milk healthy or not?
yes. And who was in charge? Yeah, who is it? Is it healthy? And where do those
It's one
ads
of the
go?
we've talked about this in the past episode. No one knows.
No one knows.
Not one person knows if milk is healthy or not.
Yes,
Everyone
we
thinks
have-
they know,
we
but
have
no one
discussed it.
actually knows.
Sure. And who was making those ads for the Got Milk? And why did they disappear?
Pfizer.
Oh.
Could be Pfizer.
Uh-oh. Touching a little too close here to the edge.
All right. Next question, co-host. We're gonna leave milk for a little bit. And why do you think autographs are seen as such a great thing?
Oh, the classic autographs.
Yeah. What do you think about it?
Oh, people sell.
People freak the fuck out about
Yes.
getting a signed autograph from a celebrity or someone.
Yeah.
But why?
Why?
Who cares?
Oh.
Anyone could just forge it.
Co-host.
What is the big deal? And this is I will say, like, it's 2023 now. I think the whole like freaking out about autographs kind of like has been toned down a bit. But through the 90s and like even
Yeah.
it's such a big deal to get an autograph.
It is. It really is.
What?
What? What is it? Is it
You're like
about
on
it?
DMX and you're like, what?
It's a
Sorry.
great question.
What?
Co-host, I knew a dude in high school, courtesy of his father, would wait in lines at sporting events and like push his way to the front just to get an autograph from
What did he do with it after?
He
I would like to
sold
know.
it. They sold it. They had a business selling memorabilia with autographs.
But in order to be able to sell autographs and put them back in the market, there needs to be a reason for other people wanting them. So
Yes.
it just draws back to my original question: what does everyone? Is it literally just because everyone buys them and resells them, or they get the autograph and they resell them for more?
I think it is.
Does anyone actually want an autograph?
Probably not as
Does
much.
anyone want an autograph?
Yeah, who wants someone's, okay, well, one time someone's pen touched this thing.
It's so stupid. It's so stupid.
It's so stupid. Maybe it'd be cool if it was like some legendary athlete who died and then you had something that he signed. But
I still don't think that would be that cool.
No?
No.
Well, then, okay. I don't blame
really
you.
have any autographs.
No?
I have one baseball, a home run ball from Jeff Bagwell.
Oh, that's kind of cool.
Yeah.
Interesting.
But not many people know who Jeff Bagwell is.
No, and he's also still alive. So,
Is he?
is he? Well,
Dude.
see, I want like Arnold Palmer's autograph. That would be cool.
Yeah.
But
Well, his autograph's on the Arnold Palmer. Like, you can buy it in the stores.
Yes, and he signed the athletes that sign a lot of autographs all the time. Obviously, their signature is not worth anything because they're always doing it. So,
All right, co-host, we're gonna move on because we've just reached the point of this question.
yes.
What are your thoughts on people freaking out and threatening to report people and businesses to the BBB?
Oh, the Better
Business Bureau.
You go first, because I gotta take a drink here.
You got to take a drink, co-host.
Go ahead, co-host.
The BBB to me is something that I just cannot figure out because I don't know who the BBB is, and I never have been able to figure it out. They have a website. Can't say I've done much research into who they are, but you know, it was just comical to me. In previous companies I worked at, I would have people literally reach out to me and they'd be like, "I'm gonna contact the BBB."
The BBB.
And that was supposed to
BBB
frighten me apparently, but I was just like, okay, contact the BBB.
Yes.
And I just want to know who out there is, you know, looking up a company and seeing that they're on the BBB or finding them on the BBB and then like potentially not doing business with them because of that.
Nobody anymore. I think at once upon a time the BBB was
the BBB
incredible.
is lost. Shall we say they've lost a step?
They've lost a step. They've
Yeah, it's a
lost
shame.
many steps. Yes.
How are they making money though? Nothing exists without making money.
They don't. Well, listen, I had a customer of mine.
How was the BBB making money in the past?
I have no idea. Now they have a subscription service that you can they're scheming. They're scheming hard. You know, it's not legit anymore.
Yeah, it's just like
The Better Business Bureau.
Yeah, so Jerome Bettis.
Jerome Bettis, the boss.
All I can think about Jerome Bettis is him like high stepping, like like I eat chunky Campbell's soup and I'm overweight as a running back, but I have like a pinchable face, and I'm Jerome Bettis, and I won a Super Bowl 50 years ago, and everyone loves me. Anyways, we'll move on. What are your thoughts on the next question about that? Is how everyone sings the Star Spangled Banner, the national anthem, but no one knows what the hell they're singing.
Oh, I thought you were
No one knows what the lyrics mean. No one has a clue about it. What are your thoughts on that?
That's a really deep observation.
It's deep. We're all as true Americans, you know, we do sing the Star Spangled Banner for many sport events, for many like other, you know, big events. And everyone just kind of like goes through the motions and sings it.
Yep.
Does anyone have any clue what they're singing? That's my question to you.
No, they really don't.
Yeah. Thank you.
Yeah, it's or the Ramparts.
Can I put this in a cup?
Pour it in a cup. We got a cup for you.
Thank you. Would you get me one, please?
Oh, new cup. We got one right here for you. Red cup.
Red cup for the go-host.
Let's hear you. I want to hear you dissect some of the lyrics of the Star Spangled Banner.
And the bombs burst in the air.
Wow.
Yeah, I know. I have a good voice.
You do. I've never heard you hit that note.
Early on in my life, I was told I should be a singer. I actually have video recordings as a youngster singing songs.
As a youngster.
I don't know what Star Spangled Banner means, but if I were to guess, I would say it has something to do with war. Something to do. There was a guy named F. Scott Fitzgerald.
Yes.
See that he was the founder of the Star Spangled Banner.
There you go. Yes, sir.
And we actually asked this question on an earlier episode, co-host. Well, everyone back in the day used to have their names were just letters. No one had a name. It was just like F.
Scott. Yeah.
Or like CB.
CB.
Or PF.
Or JW.
JW. Yeah. So the original creator of the Star Spangled Banner was F. Scott Fitzgerald. No one knows what his first name was. It was F apparently.
F.
But I think he probably just was in a lot of war, and he saw a lot of things, and he just was like, we need to write an anthem.
I think so.
And suddenly it caught on. Everyone says it now. If God forbid, if you don't remove your hat during it nowadays, you're not a true American. Oh, God forbid you don't remove your hat.
Oh, Lord.
God forbid you don't stand up during it.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
You're not a true American. F. Scott Fitzgerald probably wrote this not thinking any of this in mind, and he probably was just like, I'm partially hungover.
Yeah.
And, I see a lot of war in front of me.
And I think that's what it was.
I will write an anthem. What do you think?
You know what? I think that's either was the Revolutionary War or the Civil War, and I think he was probably lying there, not fighting, and just had
Did you know F?
Did I know F himself?
Yeah, did you know F?
I did.
Did you?
In a previous life.
I didn't think you were alive back then.
Well, I was not in my current co-host 2 body, but in a war soldier body.
I once knew a guy named Z.
Oh, Z.
Yeah.
What about VJ?
VJ, yes. But Z was interesting. I never knew a guy named F.
Never
if I would have been born back in those days, and I would have met a guy named F.
Yes. Well, let me
I
ask you.
would have taken him seriously.
Oh yes, I would have taken him.
Anyone you meet named F, you take him seriously.
Yes, and I might name my son F. Let me ask you real quick. Yes, co-host,
strong man.
Yeah, let me add real quick. So, do you think more people understand the lyrics of "Oh Canada"? Because I know you know that tune.
Yeah, I don't really, because obviously we always talk about this podcast, it's always like at the top of the dome, so we don't, if I were to like sit for the next 2 hours and read through the "Oh Canada" lyrics and the Star Spangled Banner lyrics, I'd probably have better answers, but "Oh Canada," from my memory, I used to go to a Canadian summer camp, so we would sing "Oh Canada" during every day we would sing "Oh Canada."
Of course.
And I remember it. "Oh Canada, our home and native land, true patriot love, and all our sons command." I don't remember after that, but
that's pretty good though.
"Oh Canada," in my opinion, just the simplest answer I can give you. It was more simple.
Yes.
It was shorter.
That's my point.
And it was more. It was more joyous in a way.
It was
just
joyous.
Like, "We stand on God for thee," and it kept going back to the "Oh Canada."
Oh Canada, yes.
The Star Spangled Banner, you don't really like say the Star Spangled Banner in any part of the song.
Yes.
The fact that "Oh Canada," you keep going back to like the main hook of like "Oh Canada," and it says Canada, which is the country name in the song. It's a big part of it.
Yes.
Right.
And then it ends, "We stand on God for thee."
It still does not overlook the fact that all the major cities in Canada are very close to the United States.
Yes.
We've talked about this before.
Yes.
The only major city in Canada that's somewhat far away from the United States is Edmonton.
Yes. And Edmonton, that's the furthest one, I think.
Edmonton's the furthest one. Toronto is basically a suburb of the United States. Same with Montreal, same with Vancouver. Calgary is a little bit further extended, but it's not that far. Edmonton's far, and then there's no other major cities. Canada, supposedly this just crazy far out country, just on their own. They have all these just crazy policies, and
way out there.
They're just such a great country, but
such a great country.
They're really not that much different from the U.S.
They're not,
but they want to be
best.
So give Canada
give it a can, and then maybe at the end of this podcast we'll sing the very end of that song, because it's really the end of that. The Star Spangled Banner is great, but the way that "Oh Canada" ends really gets the goosebumps going.
the goosebumps.
The goosebumps. To call back the previous episode.
Yeah.
But anyway, moving on here, co-host. I'm gonna let you, out of your brain, pick out one of those brain busters.
All right. Co-host, I have a question. When you're on the road, do you drive much these days?
Oh, I drive locally.
Jokily.
Trying to get you.
What are your thoughts when an ambulance or a fire truck is like driving by and people just go too far out of the way and spend too much time yielding for them?
Too much yielding.
Does it bother you?
Absolutely.
It's like, an ambulance and fire truck goes by, you don't need to just like go all the way to the side of the road and wait for 25 seconds. Like,
yes. Especially if it's coming from the other side.
Oh man, it's a pet peeve of mine. I can't stand it.
Slow drivers, man. Terrible.
It's not slow.
It's dumb.
It's just like you.
Oh my God!
I don't know if I'm explaining this. I'm sorry. I don't know if I'm explaining this correctly. It's like the concept of you can simply just like stop driving for 1 second and let the ambulance or fire truck pass by, and then you can resume driving.
Yes, sir.
But everyone loves to just veer off way to the side of the road. And it's so it's just like
so passive.
People are just so timid,
stupid. just, you know, it's one thing to be courteous, it's another thing to be over the top, just not smart. Keep the flow of traffic going.
All right, next question, co-host. What are your thoughts on dogs? That when, you know, this really doesn't, you can be in any part of the U.S., and this probably applies to other countries as well, because dogs are everywhere, but dogs that are bored, and you're kind of like going by their property, and they will just follow you throughout their whole property, like and you're like slowly walking by, and you're like, and until you get to the end of their property, they will just run down.
Yes.
And they will do anything possible, just keep barking at you. And even if you're on the opposite side of the street, off in the distance, like, what are your thoughts on that?
Terribly annoying. Has this happened to you recently, co-host?
It's happened to me a good amount, and I always want to just go up to the dog and be like, what is it?
What do you want?
What is it?
What do you want, dog?
Is your life that bad? Would you like me to take you away and give you a better life?
Well,
what do you think you're going to achieve by barking at me, even if I'm literally across the street?
Yeah, what do they think?
What's your end game?
Yes.
I want to know what the end game is.
What the end game is. Well, it's a very poorly trained dog if he continues to bark at you.
It would make sense if I was...
We may still be going here. Yes, we are.
It would make sense if I was approaching the dog or running up on the dog or trying to threaten their house or their property in some aspect. But all the time, it's just I'm biking by, walking by, running by, and the dog is just freaking the fuck out.
Yeah.
Do you think it's anxiety?
On the dog's part?
Yes.
Oh.
Dogs have anxiety too. Growing up, we used to give my dog Xanax.
Xanax?
Yep.
Is that real?
No, not a true story.
Must have gave him something.
We gave him her
some type of
cheap food, which could have contributed to
interesting
her anxiety.
A lot of dogs.
Come to think about it.
Come to think of it. A lot of dogs today. Well, co-host, I do want to hear more about your childhood
co-host, I have
dog.
a question for you.
Yeah.
Why has the concept of blowing bubble gums seemed to have disappeared?
Oh.
Do you see many people blowing bubble gums anymore these days?
Not enough.
What do you think happened?
What happened to that?
Do you think there's just less places to buy a bubble gum?
Yes.
Or do you think it's not trendy enough to blow a bubble gum?
Well, both.
And
People
when
aren't
it was occurring in the past, why do you think it was trendy to blow a bubble gum?
To blow a bubble gum.
Why do you think people were blowing bubble gums?
Well, I think it was cool. There were more cool.
Well, why was it cool?
Because there were more cool people. Now there's a lot of lame, cringy people. Wait, but I don't know. Remember Big League Chew? I sent you a Big League Chew thing.
You did send a Big League Chew.
Big League Chew. Maybe the gum was better back then. What do you think? I don't know.
I think there was less to do back then because there wasn't like phones and social media, so people would do things like pogs and blowing bubble gum and yo-yos.
Yeah.
They needed to keep themselves busy somehow, but they didn't have technology yet, so they were just like anything that can just come up, like anything that we can waste time with. So people would blow bubble gums.
Yes.
And there were also people that would they would do like somersaults. I mean, and it wasn't only for the gymnastics. People would just do somersaults. There were also people that would.
People were very bored.
Yeah, exactly. People would play magic cards and
magic MTG
pogo sticks.
And we talked about the MTG cards.
We did, exactly. We had a whole talk about this.
And we decided the Beanie Babies were more valuable. But anyway, that's a little bit of a callback. Where is the bubble gums? We missed the bubble gums.
There were so many things, and we actually I think we had a question about this on a previous podcast. Is that why bubblegum machines never accepted dollar bills? Oh, you remember that question,
yes,
co-host?
Good question. Yes.
That is my mind has been blown for years upon this question. Why did bubblegum machines never accept dollar bills? I'm not asking you the question. I'm just rephrasing it because this is the question we're asking currently. But it's crazy to me.
Crazy.
Absolutely crazy, especially back in the day when gum was bigger and everyone was chewing gum, and every 5 commercials that was on was a gum commercial. Like, how does it not accept dollar bills?
Yeah, and you never see those anymore. You don't turn the knob and get the gum anymore.
You don't do it anymore.
Yeah, anywhere.
It's really a shame.
It's a shame. That's terrible.
Co-host.
Well,
yeah. And this goes into my last question, co-host. what are your opinions on haggling with the annoying? Let me rephrase myself. What are your opinions on the haggling with the annoying Indian Amazon customer service associates? Anytime you reach out to Amazon for customer service help, you are met with a response from Pooja, Rupa, Khan, or Gupta.
The Gupta.
And the only reason I'm saying this is because, not to sound like, racist or anything, but it's literally the experience I've had every single time. Every single time. And it seems like, in my opinion, their only goal is to provide you with a favorable solution and make sure to have you click on the 5-star review for them for their service.
Yes, that's their goal. And let me give a quick shout out to Neil and Raul and Karan and Shakir, a couple other guys I talked to. And at the end, they always say, "Oh, let's do a review. Give me a 5-star."
And then, co-host, what's your opinion on places that give you lukewarm water instead of colder water with meals?
Lukewarm.
Do you send it back with ice?
With ice. Is there ice the first pour?
I've been to a few restaurants lately where I've been given lukewarm water as my main water, and I find it to be a bit offensive.
It is. Very. How dare they? How
right.
dare you?
You have to ask for ice, and you're seen as like the enemy for asking for ice.
Yes. No, ice. My grandma sends it back if there's not an exact amount.
No one's trying to drink lukewarm water with a meal.
Send it back.
Is this tea?
Full send it. Tea?
Listeners,
tea?
I think we've reached the end point for episode 8.
Yes.
We've really enjoyed ourselves this episode.
We really have.
All it takes is one. We're gonna go back to the main theme here. I personally really mean it. My co-host can give some insight after this, but I really mean it that you just have to keep going. You have to keep with the mindset that I promise you, like all it takes is one. I don't know why I keep saying that. That's the title of this episode, but it's true. It's like just one call, one email, one encounter with a person in public, like one drunken conversation, like one, just take one risk. It's just
one risk.
It really can change your life, and just keep that mindset, and it really can keep you positive.
Yes.
It can keep you positive. It can keep you going. And you might think we're BSing, but it's actually true. It's true. It's true.
It's the basis of faith.
One thing can change your entire life.
One thing. One win. One big win.
My co-host will write it out here.
Yes. And thank you, co-host, for driving this, for coming up with the ideas. This wouldn't be possible without you.
It wouldn't be possible without you.
Well, thank you. And thank you. And let us remind you that this is 1. And this is 8. And we're happy to be here. Happy to give you these ideas.
And we just want to tell you also that the future episodes, we're going to have some more guest hosts, and we're going to get some better production. We're not going to name drop at the moment, but we have some ideas.
Yeah, big things coming.
To all of our listeners, have a great night, great day, great afternoon, wherever you are. All it takes is one. Just remember that.
Just one.
One time. That's it.